show. The officials, the referees are Mike Harrell, Christy Felice, and Keith Glock. Off and running with the Terps on home turf in the white jerseys.
Right off the bat, Dehenio wins the draw on the face-off, plays it behind him, but look at this tenacious ride by Maryland.
Scarlet Knights come up with the ground ball.
Plan was to have Cameron warm up and see how he felt. We got word that he might play here tonight, and that's him with the ball, I believe.
Leaning in, fires Rupel, the early stop. Ball down. Taken up off the turf smoothly there by Colin Burley.
Brennan, Chorus, Long. They have struggled the last couple weeks, really being outperformed by that second group.
Quick pass inside, score! Daniel Kelly.
This is a great start for the Maryland Terrapins. Not only do you get a marker early in the contest, but it's your first midfield generating the opportunity. Long gets the defender hung up, and then Kelly just does what he does best. He kind of flares out to his left. There was a stick in his face by a Rutgers Scarlet Knight, but I don't think Ethan Rawl knew the ball was
midfielder Daniels. Bring it on around for Spanos into the alley. Bumped away by Mendyke. Sharp angle bid. Mullen makes the stop and comes out of there quickly. Kyle Mullen in the cage all season long for Rutgers, the former on state.
This is the matchup. 27 on 27 in red and white. Knobloch versus Schaller. This is what Rutgers has to exploit.
Amon ready to go. He scores! Jack Amon.
A reshuffling of the Rutgers midfield after two lackluster offensive performances the last couple weeks against Maryland and Penn State respectively. Amon is going to get more run. And Brian Breck told us this week he needs more production out of players like Jack Amon. I like the setup. Nice, comfortable approach.
Weeks has been dealing with injuries. Good to see him out there early on in this contest. Kelly on the board for Maryland. Amon for the Scarlet Knights. 1-1 as we approach the 6-minute mark. Bang! Off and running there, it's Jack Chorus.
Maryland feasted on Rutgers off ball a couple weeks ago in Piscataway, and there's nothing fancy about this, just a seal pick, and then Chorus streaks to his left. He's one of the best cutting midfielders in the country. Finds some space, bounces it far.
Short stick defensive midfielder. Off the sweep from the top, rolling back, it's Scott. Here comes the help on the double team from Dante Trader.
I love the energy.
This one's off the crossbar. Another whistler from David Sprock.
Just love the energy that Rutgers has come out with tonight. This is what they were lacking.
The sideline tracked down by Kelly with 6 seconds to shoot. Knifing in, a rack attack, he scores!
If you're Rutgers, this just cannot happen. Daniel Kelly is a shooter. Not saying he isn't a capable dodger, but dodging is not his forte. So this is Kelly recognizing, look, he looks at the shot clock, short time. Ethan Rawl way overplays that left hand, and he doesn't squeeze Daniel Kelly behind the goal. Watch the great move. Kelly heads up field.
Whittier sends it back behind. They'll keep it hot quickly for Spanos from the wing. Spanos on the jump shot, fought off by Mullen. He went to the splits to make the saves, looking for the transition quickly. Rutgers loves to run. This is scooped out of bounds, though, by Reels. Shot clock at 25.
Big boy.
Muscles up there.
Weight room.
And still, though, the Terps maintain possession. Brennan bounced right back up from his wallet.
He got decked, but great recovery by Jack Brennan to get that ground ball back.
Under 10 seconds to shoot. Long swivels, that pass is deflected, and Daniels will steal for Rutgers.
It looks like Maryland is trying to assimilate Owen Murphy and Ross Scott.
Knobloch off the split. Scott waiting, 18 seconds to shoot. Working in against Burlace now. Here comes the double. Well timed. The coordination of Maryland's defense was perfect there as Donovan Lacey joined the party at just the... See the turnover story at the top of the screen. Snapshot delivered. Rupel makes the save on Scott. Both netminders locked in the first 15 minutes.
Good early offense opportunity right there. Scott, that's a good shot. Not terrible placement. Rupel ate it up. Read it, soaked it, gets it out of harm's way.
Ryan Rupel, save percentage just under 52% this season. Open there, Maltz fires and scores.
Daniel Maltz had a terrific game last weekend against Johns Hopkins. We've talked about it repeatedly this season. Look at him just hanging out. Nobody's paying any attention to him. 37 clean up to be even more competitive in this game.
The first possession offensively in the second quarter belongs to Rutgers in the red. Floated over the top, Ross Scott looking inside, snapshot, score! Amon.
Pretty offense by this Rutgers Scarlet Knight team. Listen, Ross Scott and Shane Knobloch are gonna have to be big tonight. And I love how they're moving Scott around the field. This is out of a midfield position.
They and Rutgers have ever played in a Big Ten quarterfinal. This format's only been around for 3 seasons. There's a flag down here, a bounce shot that finds pay dirt, but was there a whistle before the shot? The Terps are celebrating goal number 5.
Yeah, should have been a slow whistle situation, and what we're gonna get here is going to be an unnecessary roughness. I was at a high school game earlier today, and a defender jacked a person setting a pick, and they called
In the estimation of Shane Knobloch. This is Scott working against Trader. Amon opens and fires, he scores! Amon with a hat trick.
When you think of Rutgers, you think of Tony Soprano, you think of Paulie Walnuts, you think about Silvio Dante. This is the Jack Amon show offensively so far for the men in red. I love the chemistry between Ross Scott and Jack Amon. Look at these guys on a string. Amon senses Scott goes down low. Already decided he's eating so far here tonight. Love to see Knobloch get on track. And then Brian Cameron, he had that initial thrust to cage. Can he get more touches?
Pass to the inside, Maltz lets it go, he scores! Maltz with a quick stick.
Daniel Maltz is a player who in 2021 scored 50 goals for the Maryland Terrapins, and due to the plethora of talent that they had a year ago, he was relegated to just extra man service. This is Maltz's specialty, operating in the phone booth. Great catch, look at the body and stick control. He could set.
Maryland doubling up Rutgers, a pass over the top for Brennan. Brennan seizing the moment here. Submarine shot, Maltz blocked down, follow-up chance didn't get through, and Mullen sprints out of the goal for Rutgers. Possession for Rutgers. Knobloch working in against Geppert. Pass across crease, floated up top. This drive through the screen, score! Brady Curdilla, who scored early in the season, and I mean early against Marist, gets himself on the board in a big game tonight.
The freshman from Bridgewater, Raritan. That is rarefied air. Bobby Russo's high school. That is legend in New Jersey. Rutgers keeping it close at 6-4.
This is Syracuse. No shooting space for him. Urksa against DeHanza. Feed it to a curling Whittier. He scores.
Second midfield group continues to produce for this Maryland Terrapin team. 88 in red, Bobby Russo is not happy with his defensive compatriots, thinking that there was a blown assignment on a cut. And there it is right there. Great cut by Whittier, defensive midfielder.
No room for Amon, who has the first half hat trick. Shot clock's at 30. Comfortable for Rutgers. Dante Trader peeks out on Knobloch. Beautiful move. Fires. Score! There's Knobloch getting to the cage.
Knobloch number 27 in red. Talked about his different release points. Look at this little shake, and bang! Please, Hammer, don't hurt him. Knobloch with an absolute in his Maryland Terrapin career, and don't shake too much, folks. He's back for one more year.
He was thrilled to let us know that, too.
Yeah.
Burks
like, oh.
chasing after Mullen on the ride.
You know, when he made his jump from 21.
Donald, 10 seconds to shoot. Scott leaning in against Schaller. Ross Scott flicks it inside. That bouncer from Koulis does not find pay dirt, and away come the Terrapins. It's Chorus off and running. Slow break, Makar fires, scores!
A double whammy. If you are the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, you had Jack Corse, an offensive midfielder stuck on defense. He not only doesn't get scorched, but he comes up with the turnover in the ground ball, and then Makar. The pole goal gets the trail, posts up, and put
lead they enjoy as we begin the second half in this second Big Ten quarterfinal. Luke Weirman wins the opening draw. Joe Beninati and Mark Dixon with you. Michigan has already advanced to a Big Ten tournament quarterfinal date with Penn State. That'll come up Thursday in Baltimore.
A couple decades kind of team, but they just continue to be efficient and share the rock. I mean, you've got 6 guys with 20 or more points on this Maryland roster.
Rutgers has possession now, looking to chip away. Jack Amon has been their shooting star in the first half with a hat trick. Daniels fires. That's easy pickings for Rupel.
I don't have
injury. He's fought through a couple of them this season. Sprock lost the handle, pressured by Trader, and Makar comes up with a ground ball for Maryland. Trader wants to run, already with a couple of 2-goal games this year. Great pass, score! Doorstep tap in for Maltz.
Great defense by Maryland, stealing a page out of the NASCAR book from Rutgers. We talked about the mental mistakes. David Sprock allows himself to get doubled, get stripped. Great first-time grounder by Brett Makar. And look at the vision from Dante Trader. And the
mark of the third quarter. This pass, a tough catch. Stahanzik comes out of the pack with it for the Scarlet Knights. Then he gets hatcheted by Urksa on the ride.
I feel like Maryland's giving Rutgers opportunities to get back into this game. Will Rutgers...
Not nearly converting with the same precision they had earlier in the year. Knobloch, the ball fake came out of his cross. Schaller jumps on it. Schaller for Maryland. Will Schaller getting a lot of time tonight with Ajax Zapatello not in the lineup. If you haven't been with us throughout this game, Zapatello out injured tonight.
Yeah, and Rutgers really hasn't taken that much advantage of Zapatello's absence outside of Ross Scott being a terrific playmaker like he normally is. 3 assists in that first 30-minute.
Maryland ball.
That's a smart play by Kelly. He basically went in between Mullen and Russo, made himself smaller, and got to the sideline fast.
Mullen, who's picked up 11 stops. Uh-oh! He snuck out of the cage there, and Maryland made him pay. Bang, bang for Murphy. The Terps have their largest lead on the night.
Murphy, the Johns Hopkins transfer, has been hampered with an ankle injury for the last month. But we saw him last week against his old mates, Johns Hopkins. Look at Kelly. Steps in front of Russo. Actually, I think he might have gotten away with one of those. I think the ball may have been out of bounds by the time Kelly...
There to stave him off. Maltz's roll dodge right into the midsection of Decker, who forces him below, goal line extended. Nice feed off the cut. Mullen makes another dynamite save there on Chorus.
Yeah, this defense for Rutgers, Kyle Mullen in particular, has played very, very well tonight.
Rupel at the other end, answering the save by Mullen. Murphy sprinting in against Miller. Short stick defensive midfielder, 6 in the red. Long on a roll dodge. Just getting going in the fourth. Joe Beninati and Mark Dixon with you. Tip of the cap to all the men and women in our technical crew here in College Park, Maryland. And Back home in our Chicago studios of the Big Ten Network. Murphy feeds wide open inside. Bullseye. Kelly gets his fourth.
Owen Murphy starting to heat up and starting to get more comfortable running in the midfield for the Maryland Terrapins, coming off of that ankle. Miscommunication by the Rutgers Scarlet.
On defense, Knobloch gets it again. Plenty of time to shoot. 12 minutes to go in the fourth. The deficit is 6 for the guys in red. Scott directing traffic. Inside roll. Bounced it wide. Backed up by Amon, keeping it hot. Score! Knobloch.
The time is now. Rutgers will not go away. And they just got to string them together. And it starts right here at the face-off dot. DeHenio coming out to battle Luke Weirman. There's Knobloch to the right of your screen. Comes in. Johnny on the spot. Cycles back. Nice. Catches a break on the offensive end. Let's see if they can capitalize and build on it.
Can they get a draw here? Ball bounced around. DeHenio comes up with it. Beating Weirman and getting possession, much needed for Rutgers now. The Scarlet Knights ending a 21-plus minute drought with that goal from Knobloch. He was the man who had the last goal for Rutgers late in the second quarter. Bounce shot here. Score! Right back at you. Exactly what the doctor ordered from Cameron.
This is what Rutgers has to do. You just have to hope that they've got a little bit more funk in their bag for the rest of regulation. I love the exchange right here. Scott drip.
Knocked off the Scarlet Knights. They've beaten them 18 straight times. Good double team, ball down. Mullen leaving the crease, fishing for it with his goalie stick. They scrum for it. And out of the pack, here come the Scarlet Knights. Off and running, John Miller with it. Miller finds the open Knobloch and heels.
Hold or a loose ball push, but Miller kept at it. And here we go, Rutgers.
Cameron against Burlace, fought off by Rupel. It rattles around and out. The ground ball comes up for Makar. Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year for the second time. Rupel will bring it ahead. Maryland.
Success. Shot rattles around inside the crease area, but it doesn't go, and then Maryland comes down and cashes in.
Urksa on the roll dodge, stopped in his tracks by Stahanzik. Owen Murphy is next in line for Maryland. Into the alley from the sharp angle. Apgar bumped him below. Spinning, turning, score! Highlight reel stuff from Urksa.
The freshman has been setting the of his own. He's wide open, catches it, and then just turns. I mean, if you're a defender, you have got to knock him on his butt, drill your stick through him. But Urksa does the state of Maryland. Weirman coming from out of state. Actually was originally a Fairfield commit, then flipped, visited College Park, and the rest is history. He said, I wanted to win. And this was the place I felt like I had the best opportunity to win.
Urksa bounced off a double team. Spano scores.
Maryland's just having fun now. Spanos is a large man, 6'5", 220. He's a big target. And look at Urksa, kind of toying with the short stick D-midi, draws the double, pinballs his way out of it, and look at Spanos, not only looking ahead to next week, Joe, Penn State, Michigan, terrific battle at the face-off dot between Chase Mullins and the double-headed monster, Jack Rowlett and Justin Wheatfeld of the Wolverines. Remember, Michigan had an 8-4 lead going into the fourth quarter against Penn State a couple weeks ago at home and lost.
Mad dash to the cage. Rutgers not finished yet. Ringer rings the bell.
Nice goal by Ringer. Gets inside of.
It's Amo.
Gets inside of Amon. Gets inside of Kohler. Stays out here tonight against Maryland.
Speeding in offensively. Scarlet Knights in the red. At least 10 goals in 13 of their last 17 outings. Knobloch fires, he scores! Off the sweep. Knobloch with a hat trick.
Gotta love the effort from number 27. Homegrown Jersey boy, Shane Knobloch. Second consecutive goal scored out of a timeout. And he takes the freshman to the rack. Scholler. This is a much different Johns Hopkins team. We saw them here last week knocking off the Maryland Terrapins 13-12 to take the number 2 seed in the tournament.
That was a fabulous game. Back and forth. No team had a 2-goal lead till late in the fourth quarter in that one. Ringer gets underneath. He scores! James Ringer back on the board.
Rutgers refuses to go away. Bayport, New York native. I love the exchange. You get underneath. Dante Trader just takes a bad approach, takes a swing, and
Homewood on Thursday. You don't want to miss that on Big Ten Network ahead. Top of the hour time, Rutgers last-ditch effort. Knobloch angles in. Two-man game with Sprock. Feed it to the inside. Nice catch. Savetti, he scores!
Rutgers is now 3 for 3, scoring goals coming out of a timeout. And this one is pretty. Savetti is going to with the handle. Look at Sprock. Threads the needle to Savetti. Turns, little.
The Maryland Terrapins hold serve on home field and knock off the Scarlet Knights 14-11.
Yeoman effort by Maryland tonight. Really solid and buttoned up at certain points of the